Hey guys, Tadeo7 here, bringing you guys another Nexo tutorial video today. On today's video, we're going to be carrying on from episode 7 part 1 of how to make our own custom trees. On the first video, we covered how to do our leaves and saplings, so if you guys haven't checked that out yet, please make sure to go and follow that and check it out first before you come to this one. But yeah, so for today's video, we're going to be learning how to do our logs and our strip logs. So let's not waste any time and let's get straight into it. But before we do, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and also ask what you'd like to see on the next upcoming video. There will be also a part 3 coming out, hopefully tomorrow, to cover how to do our sapling logs and how to grow it. All that kind of stuff. So that will be the final part for the 3-part series. But enough chatting, let's get into it. Let's get started. So first thing first, in the description below there should be a link for you guys to grab those log textures and the strip log textures. So make sure you go and grab those now before you get started, or you guys are going to get lost halfway and not have the textures and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so first and first, we'll make sure you go into your plugins, Nexo items, and Nexo default, or wherever you guys have your texture file for Nexo. And we want to create a YML called log.yml. So let's do that now. Cool. And let's open this bad boy up. Boom, boom, boom. Check it over here. Check it up here. Cool. So obviously the type of tree we're going for is a palm tree. So we're going to be obviously having the wood type called palm logs. So obviously the ID for this is going to be palm log. And then underneath the L, we want to do the item name, palm log. Material, we're going to go for paper, all in capitals. And then we want to do the pack, so capital P. Then underneath the pack, just under the C, we want to do parent underscore model. And for this, we're going to need something called block/cube column. What cube underscore column is allows us to have more than one texture. So what this means is that we can have a top texture and a normal default texture. So when you look at a log, you can see the top of the texture and it looks different. And then you have your normal texture, as you can see on the sides. So obviously we'll type in block/cube underscore column. Then underneath that, we want to type in textures. And underneath that, we're going to go to a little dash, space, and this is where we're going to add in our texture files. So before we write this up, we're going to go and add in all our textures to the pack, so we don't have to do this later. So make sure you go to pack, assets, Minecraft, textures, make a new one, and we're going to call this logs. Do that, and let's go in there. I'll quickly go grab my textures. Boom, 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 boom. So chuck all the 4 textures into there. So as you can see, I have my palm log top, strip palm log, and strip palm log top. Now, we are going to be writing 2 different codes into this one log YML. So do bear with me, there will be a bit of back and forth between each one because they have to link up with each other. But for now, we'll just do the basic, which is just the palms log. So obviously texture is going to be logs / and we want to do palm underscore log underscore top. So we have the top one, dot PNG. I don't think you need to do PNG, but I'm just going to do it for this one because this one works on my other server. So I'll just keep the PNG in there for now, but you guys might not need to. So this one's going to be logs / palm underscore log dot PNG. Then after that, we want to give this a custom model data. And just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put this into 50,000s. Again, you guys can decide whatever number you want, as long as it doesn't clash with your other custom model data numbers. Nexo should fix it up too if it does clash, so don't worry or freak out too much. And after we've done that, what we want to do is we want to give its mechanics next. So we can go enter backspace 1, make sure this is lined up with the pack, and just type in mechanics. Then underneath the C, we want to type in custom block, the custom underscore block. Then underneath the S, we want to type in type of block. So obviously this is going to be a note block, so all in capitals. And then underneath that, we want to give it block sound, underscore sounds. And then underneath the O, we want to type in the break sound, so break underscore sound. And for this one, it's going to be block.wood.break. And then we want the place sound, so we want to do place underscore sound. This one's going to be block.wood.place. And then after this, we want to give us custom variation. Now, be careful when doing custom variations because they will clash with any other variations. Like if you haven't your item one. So, for example, you know how we made our custom tin? It has its own custom variation. So we want to make sure we're not using any of those custom variation numbers. So just for this video, we're going to set this to 10. Just for the video, but again, you guys can decide what number you want to choose. Just make sure you're not using a number that's already used for another item that you made, and it's using as a note block. So just be careful with that. So after that, we want to give the wood its hardness, so how hard it is to mine it. So just for default, I'm just going to go 2. And now we want to add in our directionals. So directionals are going to be what helps make the logs go in its Y, X, Z kind of axle. So what I mean by that, if I grab a log, so when you place, you see how it goes one way, and then if you place it this way, see how it goes in different angles. So that's what we're going to be doing, is making it that our custom tree block is going to be able to go in any direction like this. So let's break this. So pretty much what we want to do, statically underneath the hardness, we're going to do directional, if I can spell correctly. Just make sure the custom variation hardness and directional is actually on the same line as the block sound. I miss space there. Cool. So underneath that one, just under the R, going to rewrite it again. Directional underscore type. Now there are different types of directional types. You have like log, furnace, and I think there's a couple other ones. Let me check the wiki. Yeah, so you got log, furnace, and dropper. What we're going to be using is the log one. So all in capitals, log, and then underneath it, we need to set up the Y, X, and Z block. Now we actually haven't written the code for these yet, but we can actually preset it up. So obviously just follow what I do. It will all make sense when we get to it. So we want to do the Y axle, so Y underscore block. And we need the name of what it's going to be. So just for the sake of this, to make it very simple and easy, it's just going to be called palm underscore Y. You must have these at the end of it, like the underscore Y, underscore X, underscore Z. They must be at the end of the wherever the name is going to be. So for this one, we want to type in X underscore block. And this one's going to be palm underscore X. And then this one's going to be Z underscore block. And then that one's going to be palm underscore seed. So after you've done that, we want to create the loot we get from our just a standard block. So obviously make sure you're lined up with the directional, not space forward. So this one's going to be drop, and then underneath drop, just under the O, do we want it to be silk touch? Just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go false for this one. And then underneath silk touch, we want to do minimal type, and we want to set this to wood. What this means that any tools like any type of tier materials like wood, gold, iron can break it. So for example, if this should all be in capital by the way, wood. Yeah. So for example, what this is saying is that hey, if you have a wooden axe and any tools above that, you can use it to break this block and receive the loot. But if you don't use a wood axe, you can't receive the loot, but you can still break the block, I believe, or I think the block can't get broken. But yeah, but for example, if I did a stone, what this would mean is that any wood axe, they wouldn't be able to break the log. So again, up to you what type of material tier that you want to use. You guys can play around. You might make like a legendary trend that can only be chopped by a netherite axe, something like that. But just for the sake of this video, we're just going to go wood. And then the loots. Then underneath that, we want to go probability. And just want 1. Then underneath that, we want it to give us the item. So just underneath the P, Nexo underscore item. And we want it to give us the palm log. So make sure you just get in this ID from up here. Palm space palm log. Then underneath that, if you back it up, so it's underneath the dash line, we want this to be best underscore tool, and we want to do X. So what this means is that X is the only type of tool that can break the wood and get the loot from. I think if you remove the best tool part, it means anything can break it. Again, you gotta be careful with the minimal type. I haven't done much playing around with this, but I'm doing an RPG server, so this kind of fits into what my idea is for my server, because I'm going to be making it that you have to have certain tools and a certain type of material of that tool to be able to break this tree for leveling systems. So this is what I've gone for. You guys might have to have a play around to see how you want it to work on your server, or if you want something like this. So after we've done that, this is the basic foundation for our palm log. But what we need to do now is set up our Y, X, and Z, and go from there. So this underneath this, we're going to create another ID, and this is going to so the ID is going to be like the palm Y, the palm X, and the palm Z. So we're going to type in the palm underscore Y. And then underneath that, just under the L, we want to type in exclude from inventory. Set that to true. I can't remember what this was for again. I might have to have a play around again. Again, it's been a while since I've done trees and played around with it fully, so you guys might have to have a bit of play around and understand what those functions do. It's been a while since I've done it. So underneath that one, we want to do material, and this is obviously going to be paper, but paper is just the best item to use. And then we want to do the mechanic. And then underneath, so I'm just trying to get my little page of it. We want to, just underneath the C, we want to do custom block. custom underscore block. And just underneath the S, we want to do type. And this is obviously going to be our note block. And then underneath this, we're going to do log underscore strip, lowercase l, log underscore strip. And what we do, we'll come back to this part of the code. So for now, I'm just going to just do this so you guys know this is what we're going to come back to. The log strip, what we have to do is we've got to set up the strip log functions and the block and item, and then we convert it into the log part. So this part here will be your last part you need to do in the video. So no stress on this, so you can leave this out for now. So underneath this, on the so I'm just trying to make sure I've run this correctly. So just underneath the S on the custom block, we want to type in custom variation, custom underscore variation. And we actually want to set this custom variation for the first block, the palm Y. We want to set this exactly the same as the palm log one. What this is doing, if I understand it correctly, it links these blocks to your main block. So this one's going to be 10. Then underneath this, we want to do directional. If I can spell correctly. Directional underneath there. Underneath the R, this is going to be parent underneath block, sorry, underscore block. And then this is going to be the ID of your main block. So it's going to be palm log. Palm log. All right. So we have now created our Y axis for our palm log. And pretty much what we can do from here, we can actually copy this and paste it in. And all we need to do, we just need to change these two lines of code. So this one's going to be the X, and this one's going to be the Z. After you've done that, oh, sorry, before we carry on. So after you change the X and Z, we just need to change this custom variation. So now you want to start upping the numbers on these. So now this is going to be 11, and this one is going to be 12. So with that done, we now have our main block, our main wood block, which is going to be the palm log. And now we're given another type of function to give us the Y, X, and Z for our palm log. So with that done, we can now move on to the stripped palm logs. Very easy, very simple again. And what we can actually do to make this so much more quicker, we can actually, oh, hello. We can actually copy all this and paste it. And we only got to change a couple things in the code here. So if we go down a couple times, and what we're going to do, this is all going to be the distribution. So this can be stripped underscore palm log. All right. Item name is going to be stripped space palm log. Paper, exactly the same. Textures, we just got to change the textures now. So instead of going palm log top, it's now going to be stripped underscore palm log top. And then obviously you can just copy this part and paste in the other one. And this one will be stripped underscore palm underscore log. Change custom model data first. So we can just go 1. These don't need custom model data because this has been parented to this block. So it doesn't need its own custom data. So again, all good, all happy, happy, happy. Now we want to change the custom variation. So when you're doing your strip logs, what you should be doing is that whatever is the next number after your log, right? So this is 12. You want to use 13 for this one, or whatever other numbers. But again, make sure it's always higher and higher as you go up. And then after that, so we go down to our directional type, and now we want to add in its own ID. So we're just going to go stripped. Yeah, so we're going to go strip palm. That's what we're going to do. So what we can do, we can just copy this, paste, paste, done. And then for this one down here, because obviously what we want to do is that when they strip it, we obviously want to receive the stripped palm log, not the normal log. So we just go paste the strip there, underscore palm log. And then again, nothing else to change there. So after we've done that, that literally sets all this up, and that's all done. So all we've got to do now is set up the stripped Y, X, and Z. So again, pasting in the stripped, and make sure this is exactly the same. Oh, this is exactly the same as our Y blocks. So we'll paste it across all of them, just like that. I'm just going to enter so you guys can see the Y, X, and Z. So all the same, all the same. Now we've got to make sure the Y is exactly the same as our block up there. So that's going to be the 13. And then this one will be 14. And then this one will be 15. Cool. And after you've done that one, we want this now to be a parent block to this one. So again, paste in our stripped part underscore palm log. Exactly the same one down here, and exactly the same one down here. And just like that, all done. Now, the stripped mechanic ones don't need these log strips in here because obviously they already strip. The log strip part is for the palms part up here. So what we can do in the stripped area, you can remove these lines of code, tidy all that up, and there we go. So now what we want to do is we want to go right back up to the top, and now we want to add in these last 3 lines of code. So when we strip our palm log on their directional axes and stuff, we'll get this strip version for the palm. So let me double check my code. So pretty much what we're doing is that we're going to remove these. Cool, making sure this is all lined up to the log strip part. So up here on your Y area, you want to enter from the log strip, and underneath the G, we want to type in strip underscore log, and then we want to put in the Y axis strip log. So what you can do, you can scroll back down, copy this one, go right back up, go up to the Y, and where it says strip log, paste that in there. And what you can do, you can actually copy this code here, control copy, replace this, and just change the Y to the X. And exactly the same for the Z, replace this, and then do Y to Z. And just like that, you now have added in your own block, so your own tree block and your own tree stripped block version 2. So what we can do now is we can save the game, save the file. We can now reload Nexo. Fingers crossed we shouldn't get any errors. Yep, just like that. Beautiful. And you might notice that the code would have squished them back up a bit. So now, if we go back to the game, and if we do Nexo inventory, you can see we have our logs, and we have a palm log and strip log. Here we go, boom, boom. And you'll notice we can do an any angle, just like that. And we can do the same with strip logs. Da, 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 da. And if I go get X, and if I go to survival mode, game mode survival, and if I go break this, oh hold on, I'll go world edit. Let me get a stone one. Big stone. Stone, so it's been a bit of a funny stone X, let's do it again, eh? Back to survival. Let's try it again. So if I mine this now, I get all the strip ones. If I go to these palm logs and right click, they now turn it into the strip version and they stay in its actual places. Yeah. And just like that, easy, simple. Obviously, take your time with watching the video. If you got to go back, go back. Hopefully, I've explained as best as I can. If it's still confusing, still quite hard, ask the support team. I'll be there to help out with this. It has been a bit of a challenge because a lot of people have tried to get this to work and have failed and failed. But hopefully, this will help a lot of people with how to do their logs and stuff like that. But if you guys have enjoyed that, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give me any feedback. And I hope to see you guys on the next episode where we're gonna make it that when we plant a sapling, it's gonna grow into our own custom tree, with our log and woods, and all that kind of stuff. But again, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.